11 o'clock and I finished my cutting for today. I'm really fast now. I figured out a process. You know, Germans and processes, they're sort of normal. So this process makes me cut my videos even faster. Boom, that's so cool. Now, what else is going on? I actually don't know what to do now because I actually thought I'm gonna be here another hour. So I've got an hour more time today, which is great. What I do know what I need to do, I need to answer freaking loads of questions. And my subscriber count in the last 2 days has been going up with 300 subscribers every single day. So thank you very much if you're new here. I hope you enjoy this content. And if you've got any questions and so on, always leave a comment in the comment box. I'm the guy, I always say that because I am the one behind the camera. I'm the one who's cutting the videos. I'm the one who's commenting on the videos. So if you want to know anything, ask me right now. Yeah, you haven't seen this before, I think. This is our cellar where we've got, you know, all sorts of crap lying around. But also where I do put up my clothes after washing so they can dry, sort of. Yeah, let me show you what else we've got here. Oh my god, so much stuff. Anyway, the thing is, we're moving out soon of this house and that's when the big cleaning spree is gonna happen. And that's always good. When you move house, the good thing is you get rid of so much shit you have holding on to. And, you know, I don't know, you're probably like me and like everyone else on this planet, you like holding on to stuff. But, you know, you always have to ask yourself, have you been using it in the last half year? Have you missed it? If not, put it in the freaking bin. You don't need it. Little tip on the side. Okay, let me put up the Wäsche now. So this is my last day in this little shitty gym here, because like I told you yesterday, you know, I think it's not a big deal, and normally it's really easy to run a business, especially a gym business, but some people are just really ignorant and they don't give much freedom to the customers. And you know, in Germany there's a saying, it says the customer is king, but not really. See, it's all empty. All empty, nothing going on. Well, at least they got the power on today. I can use this machine. By the way, I'm using my heart rate monitor, as you can see here. And also this machine is going to pick up my heart rate as well. Can you see it here and here? But this one is obviously more accurate, the one I'm wearing right now. And yeah, so the heart rate zones, I talked about that before. You've got 5 heart rate zones, and yeah, you want to make sure that you're sort of, when you're sort of warming up, that you're between a 2 and a 3, and later on when it goes into actual training, you want to make sure that you hit the 4, maybe sometimes even the 5 in terms of heart rate, and that always depends. So your maximum heart rate is 220 minus your age. So you can calculate that yourself. Look, this is what I mean. So I'm actually really alone in this gym. You can see no fucking person is here. No one's here. And a gym this size, you should have at least 10, 15, 20 people training all the freaking time. But, you know, I'm normally not that person who gossips around, but, you know, if someone pisses me off, then it's their own fault if I talk about it. Because, you know, I talked about it yesterday, they don't let you train properly in terms of using, let's say, magnesia or putting the weights back, cleaning the machines. I'm like, why do I have to fucking clean the machine, man? Of course you wipe off your sweat a little bit, but, you know, if these lazy people over there behind the desk are not able to walk around and switch on the light properly, switch on the machines properly, it's not my problem. So that's why I'm leaving here today. I'm gonna find a new gym, hopefully a better one. It's very sad for the sort of fitness industry in Germany. I'm really upset because, it could be so much better here, but yeah, people are just stupid, you know. Alright guys, I finished now. It was a sort of 50-minute workout. I focused a bit on deadlifts today. I'm actually thinking of a new challenge, and I think you guys are gonna like that. I did my 30 reps, you know, 1,000 rep challenge, and I'm thinking of doing the same thing but with weights, but not 1,000 reps, but something like push-pull, legs, maybe a sprinting session or something, like focusing on weights and high intensity training for 30 days. And I'm trying to get to the weight I was before when I started 1,000 reps, so we have actually a good comparison of what is possible to achieve. Let me know if you guys like that idea. If so, then I'm going to start next month on the 5th. So leave a big like, hit the like button. If we get over 200 likes on this video, I'm going to do that. Yeah, so I'm on my way to the shop because I'm gonna get some of the curd cheese I was talking about yesterday in the video the day before, when I made like eggs and this cheesy thing, because it's very high in protein. It is quite high in salt, but salt is not a big issue. Just be aware that you shouldn't eat a whole package because it's quite high in salt, but generally speaking, salt is not a bad thing. It's in moderation, like with everything really. So I'm gonna get some of that and make some eggs. So basically the same dish I had before. That's sort of my after workout thingy, and I actually might get like a full corn bread or something like that. I mean, I still like bread, but you have to take it in moderation, not like I've been horking it down like 5 brötchen every day. So I got some chicken breast, I got the curd cheese I was talking about called Handkäse, and I got rye bread, 100%. Right, so I had a shower, and before now making some food, I want to show you something because I talked about this before. Using this as a callus knife to cut off these bumps here on your hand. There you go, you can see that this needs to be cut off, and then on this side it's even worse. So I need to make sure we can cut that off, and that's what you use a callus knife for. So all you do is you take it and then you just cut it off, and then you can see that the skin sort of, that's how it looks like. Skin comes off, and just cut it off like that. You do that sort of for all of the calluses which you need to be getting rid of. And the thing is, no, it doesn't hurt. It looks a bit uncomfortable, but especially when you had a shower, it's easier because the skin is already a bit, I don't know, moist, I would say. So it's a bit easier to cut it off. Yeah, I'm gonna spare you from the rest of it. I'm gonna do this hand now, the ugly one. Alright, I need to change his shirts because the other one was too hot, but now I'm gonna show you on my hand. There you go, you can see it's now cut off on both sides. It looks a bit funny, but you know, that's part of the weightlifting game. Okay, so it's nearly 2 o'clock now and I'm having my sort of breakfast. This is one piece of cheese. It's quite high in fat, but also proteins at like 20 grams of protein per 100 grams. This is this cod cheese I was talking about, eggs, and I've got the rye bread. And a little bit of condiment, which is a bit of mustard. Just have to be bear in mind there's also sugar inside, so not too much of it. And I'm doing that again as I'm editing the video. So this is sort of my little routine here in the morning. Alright, time for a little meditation. I showed you that yesterday. It is really good to do that, to get a bit of headspace and, you know, to focus on your goals and stuff. It's a really nice thing to do. So I would always recommend taking some time out and relaxing. So here we go. 1, 2. Well, I know what it is. It is basically some ZMA and some vitamin D3. I'm going to talk about ZMA a bit more in detail and why you should be taking it or not and so on. If you want to know, leave a comment in the comment box below. Right, next one. And this one is the best one. And yeah. Here we go. Yeah, baby. Need to try them on, these babies. So here we go. There you go. So it's 9:40 and I haven't packed for Mallorca yet, but I thought I'm just gonna answer a question because the thing is, to be honest, I'm trying to keep up, and at some, you know, I said it very, I want to be honest here. I said at the beginning, I'm gonna answer every single question, and I'm really trying to, believe me guys, but I also said that when the questions become too much, I just, you know, I have to sort of, I don't know what to do. It could be like a full-time job really, so please don't be annoyed if I cannot address your question personally. I'm really reading more or less every single comment, but I want you to realize that, you know, I am on it, okay? So if I don't answer your question personally, please don't take it personally. It is something I am trying to do my best to be on target, right? So that's why in between of all my running around here in the house, I'm answering one question because I think it's quite pressing. And there's another one which is pressing and another one, but this one I picked out today. And it is from Dalton Shornack. And he says, I want to be a personal trainer when I get older, but I have a problem with, so he doesn't have a problem with working out, but he wants to learn a bit more about his diet, but he's living at home and, you know, someone else is buying the groceries and he doesn't know what to do. And then on the same side of that, he's asking, so what kind of education or license do you need as a trainer? And could you please respond and contact me? I know you're very busy, but he will really appreciate it. So he added something to that question and he said, what did you study to become a trainer? And then what, I know it's physical education, but is there something else you need to learn or other sort of subjects? So let's tackle this question sort of step by step. So the first part of your question is really about your diet and how can you get the grasp of this. Now honestly, when you start studying sports or when you study to become a personal trainer, diet is part of it, but I would specialize in diet as well. So there's special courses you can take to become more aware of that. And then on top is your own experience, is something which can no one really take away, because there's so much stuff I've learned in sports science as well, which is outdated. You know, there's so many new ways of how you can build muscle, lose weight, what kind of stuff you should be eating and how calories work. For example, to calculate your calories is such a difficult process. And that's just one thing which comes through experience. And this is what I'm trying to say. Now, in terms of your diet, if you're living at home, obviously, if your mom goes shopping or whoever goes shopping, make sure you're in contact with them, or you go shopping with those people when they go shopping, so you choose the products you want to eat, right? And then on the other side of the thing, what always is a good thing to do is to say to your mom, to your dad, to whoever lives in your house, saying, you know what, I want to do this. I want us, all of us, to eat more healthy, because it's good to be aware of your own food and so on and so forth. And if you're young, you're really easy to change your body shape and stuff. You will see when you're older, it's a bit harder. But if you all pull on the same string, then it's going to be, if you're all on the same page, then it's really much easier. So make sure you are in communication with people who are with you. And if you have a partner, for example, I have that lots of time with my clients. So they come to me and, it's a woman and she says, I want to lose weight, but I can't because my husband, he's eating all this bullshit. And then at night, I don't know what to do. So this is the thing, you have to have an open communication, and you need the support from the other person, from your spouse, from your kids, from whoever is with you, right? So make sure, get in communication with that person, and then that's how you start. So that's what I would do in terms of the diet side of things. Now, workout, you said you're right with working out, and that's fine. Generally speaking, and this is very similar to what I said with diet, even workouts are different for different people. Because what I see a lot with normal personal trainers is that they use this, I see it all the time. In the gym, they have one client and they work out with their client, and then the client goes, the next client comes, they do the exact same workout with that client. So they miss the total point of individualized training. So they don't really know the goals of that person. They don't know how to train that person. They're just, okay, that guy will want to lose weight. And this is the downfall of some of the studies or the educational ways of becoming a personal trainer, is by just giving them a handful of training programs and saying, this is how you do it. And then they pick 1 out of 5 for the person who comes through the door. And that's obviously not the best way. But again, this all comes down to experience. It's something which no one can take away. And I'm also aware of that everyone has to start somewhere. So, it's a fine line between, is it good or is it bad? In my opinion, obviously, if you come to me, you get an absolute tailored program for you, because what I do normally, I do a full body checkup with you, I do a movement analysis, I do a 7-day food diary, and then from there on, once you're on a certain diet, I always check in every week. We check your progress in terms of weight loss or muscle gain and make sure we are on point. But again, this is something which comes through experience. You will not be able to learn that on just a course. In order to become a personal trainer, it's different in every country. In the US, in Canada, in Australia, in the UK, in Germany, there's always a governing body in all these countries. In the UK, we've got something called REPS, which is the Register of Exercise Professionals. And within that, they've got a website. You can go on that website and they have all these courses you can do to become a personal trainer. And it starts with level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so that's how it goes. Now, in Germany, it's also a bit different. I obviously went to sports university and I did my degree there. And then from there on, in the UK, I did another level 4, which is the most advanced personal trainer, which is specialized. I did that as well. So you need to see when you're in which country you are in, and then make sure that you go to that governing body and then you do that course. Just make sure that it's one of these courses within which is certified by this governing body. That's the very first thing you should look out for. The other thing is that obviously studying what I did for 5 years at a sports university is totally different to, let's say, just a personal training degree, because your personal training degree you can get within 3 weeks time. Some are like 3 weeks online courses, which I would never recommend. Or you do like up to there's more sophisticated ones where you actually go there and you have to have personal training sessions, and there are some really good ones out there as well. Don't get me wrong. So that's the first thing I would check. But then it really comes down to making sure that you are, it's called CPD, Continuous Professional Development, and that is something which I see in our gym, which I could only see a handful of trainers, not even a handful, maybe two people, including me, who did take this serious, meaning continuous learning, making sure you do other courses, little add-on courses, where, for example, you specialize in heart rate training, right? So you go to a running club and they teach you about heart rate training. Then you go to someone who specializes, now let's say a running again, but how do you measure, how do you look at a stride of someone when he runs? How does the ball roll on, how does the foot movement, what does that imply for your hip, and so on and so forth. So there's so many specialized little things you can do, and I would always do that. Make sure you continue to learn learn, learn. That will make you a freaking expert, and that's what people want to pay for. So that is really important. Don't stop with your level 3 personal training degree, which you get in the UK and the equivalent in the US. Keep learning, right? Because that is also it's a moving subject. Fitness, obviously, we as people, we progress. We run faster. All of a sudden, we are a new world record in 100-meter sprints, right? Michael Phelps, the fastest swimmer on the planet, he got beaten just now in the Olympics. So you can really see everything progresses. So we have to be on point. We need to make sure we read the research, we get sort of information. And if you don't want to read the research, then just watch this channel, because I do, and I educate you. So find other people you look up to, and make, not look up to in the sense of, bowing down, but you're getting inspired by what they do. So I do that as well. And I mentioned a couple of these people here on my channel already. So make sure that you keep that on track. Now, Dalton, I don't want to scare you and say, don't go into it. I'm just saying, a personal trainer is not just a guy who's jacked and looks good, and it's on his phone and says, yeah, one more rep, 1, 2, 3, yeah, you're doing good. I see loads of those. These people are gonna fail. I can tell you that within, I think the percentages which came out was that in the UK, 80% of personal trainers who start in the first year of business, they're out of business at the end of the year. So only 20% of personal trainers who actually do the degree are at the end a personal trainer. So there is more to being a personal trainer than just this degree or just this sort of education. It has to be a passion of you. You want to help people. If that is you, if you walk your talk, if you love what you do, then it's the right thing to do. Otherwise, I would say leave it. Don't even think about it, because people will not come to you and say, Dalton, can you help me with fitness, or can you help me with that? I worked in a gym where you had 30 other PTs. So it's basically your competitors, right? So you're in a fitness environment where you've got 30 other people. So you have to stick out in a way, whatever way that might be. It could be your specialism, could be your professionalism, could be the way you look, could be the way you get results for your other clients. Whatever it is, people have to be drawn to you. If you're the personal trainer who's running around and trying to convince everyone that you're fat and you need me as your personal trainer, forget it. Don't even think about this job. You're gonna be down the drain quicker than you can think. I think this was a really long answer for your actual question, but I felt that I needed to say all of this because obviously a lot of you guys are watching me, and I'm a personal trainer. I've got this experience now over nearly 2 decades. So yeah, I hope this helped you guys. And if you've got other questions more related to personal training, how to get into this, and so on and so forth, leave a comment in the comment box. I'm always happy to answer this. As I said before, I'm dedicated. I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can. But now I need to freaking pack, because I printed out my ticket to Mallorca, as you can see. So I need to get going. Boom.